What is up, everyone, and welcome into episode 43 of the First Read Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Steven Cardenas, and here with me, as always, is my co-host and best friend, Tyler Carden. Tyler, how you feeling after that Spider-Man trailer?
Spider-Man, showing us trailers only he can. I don't know. I know something like that.
There you go.
First off, Spider-Man trailer just dropped. Me and Steven are on a weird high. We didn't get what we wanted, which was the 3 Spider-Men in this trailer. But I think we got 2 Spider-Men. That's what I'm going with as of right now. I do think we got 2.
Okay, I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair. And I think we're going to get the other 2 in the movie, but like,
I think there's more than 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like 6 or 7. But like, why drop that now, you know?
And just to go on a conversation, we've been talking about Spider-Man all night, not football, but we're going to talk about football. But before we get to football, Into the Spider-Verse did a fantastic job, and with all the different Spider-Men, and that was a huge hit. So like, Marvel would just be crazy not to have as many Spider-Men in as they can.
I agree. I'm hoping for it. I want to see Toby. I want to see Andrew. I think we deserve it. We deserve it as fans for sticking with Marvel, sticking with this franchise for so many years. They deserve to give us this. I mean, shoot, me and you gave them the idea in the first place.
Yeah, we start. I don't know. Story time. If you don't want to, have we talked about this?
Oh yeah.
Well, there's new listeners. There's new listeners on the show, so you can skip ahead. I give you permission to skip ahead, but story time.
It was like one of our first few episodes, so I'm pretty sure nobody heard it, so it's probably fine.
Oh, so exactly. So Steven and I actually, we came up with the MCU idea at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. No, we literally listened to Iron Man by Black Sabbath, and we said, man, they should make the Iron Man movie. And a little over a year later, it came out. So we firmly believe we deserve like 1% of all the royalties. Like, and I'm fine with splitting that 1%, like 0.5% each. Like, I'm completely fine with that.
That'd be reasonable. Reasonable.
Oh, I could definitely. I could move out there. We could build a studio. Like that definitely. Oh, for sure. With a 1%.
Yeah, I think we could probably do a few things with that 0.5%.
Oh, for sure.
Just a few things.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of looking up what they've actually earned off of this.
Okay. Oh gosh, I can only imagine it's hundreds of billions or whatever, but so I got to imagine 1% is at least $1 billion.
I'm not okay. 1%.
Anyway, moving on, let me introduce you guys to the show. We are the First Read Fantasy Football Podcast here with fantasy football advice, news, updates, all of those great things. Today, we're going to go through some injury updates. We've got our impressed and depressed segment talking about the players who have done or done poorly the past week. Then we've got an interesting stat to share with you guys. And then we are going to do we're going to do a way too early 2022 mock draft. We're just going to look at the first 2 rounds and kind of try to predict what do we think the fantasy outlook of players will look like next year, who are going to be the top few draft picks, who are going to be the important guys that we're talking about, in, let's say, July next year. We thought it'd be a fun little exercise. So that's the plan for today. Tyler, do you got a number for me?
$220 million would be 1%.
1% would be 220 million. Yeah, that'll do. 1%
would be $220 million.
That seems
so that's the fair. Split. So I mean, 110 each. 1%.
Yeah, that's off. I'd take that. It's reasonable.
22.93. It'd be more. There was a 0.93 that I didn't account for in that 22.93 billion. So,
oh man,
it'd be a few million more, to be honest with you.
Oh man,
I apologize if my video's going out, folks. We're still learning technology. We are 27-year-old kids that don't know how to work anything.
Well, one of us knows how.
Yeah, well, you come here and fix it.
I feel like
Thanks.
you are. Anyway, let's just keep going. Let's talk some news.
Football. Football. Oh, we are going straight into the news. My fault.
News.
There
Oh
we
my
are. We're in
gosh.
the news.
This show
Today.
is kind of a crapshoot already. Speaking of crapshoots, OBJ signed with the Rams since the last time we recorded. We actually have a couple pieces of news that are kind of like this that we missed because we recorded last Tuesday, and then they've been relevant. So Odell Beckham Jr. signed with the Los Angeles Rams. He got to play on Sunday. But he only played like 15 snaps or something, 3 targets, I think 2 catches for a small amount of yardage. And then there was the one like bomb target that Matthew Stafford threw downfield where OBJ was on that side of the field, but nowhere near where the pass ended up going, and it was an interception, and it was really bad. So,
I
um,
didn't watch any of
not
that game.
really sure. No. Oh yeah, you were out of town,
I
weren't you?
missed it. I was out of town. I was at a lovely wrestling show that I won't talk
Oh
about because
yeah,
Steven will just dog me for whatever reason. But
you're right.
I was back in Indy for the 3rd time in 2 weeks. And you know who else was back? Cam Newton in North Carolina. Woo!
North Carolina.
2 tutties for Cam Newton in the first 2 plays. His first 2, right?
Yeah, his first 2 plays were touchdowns. One was a
One
run and
passing,
one
one
was a pass.
rushing.
Yep.
Yes. You know what really bothers me?
Uh-huh.
You know what really bothers me about the whole thing is when he yells, "I'm back, baby." Like I'm like, cool. But like his voice hits this like pitch that I didn't expect it to hit when he does that. And like every
Yeah.
time I see it, like it hits my eardrums in the weirdest way. Like I'm just like, oh God. Like,
You observe the strangest things, you know that?
but like I saw a meme though where it said, "Oh, teacher, you can't hear pictures," and it was that like him doing, the I'm like from that, and I heard it in
Uh-huh.
my ears, in my head, and I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh God!" Like
that's
I
hilarious.
didn't want to hear it again. I'm back,
Oh,
baby. I
man.
can't do it. I can, but
Oh,
oh,
man,
I don't
you are
know.
back. You are back, buddy. You are. All right, Cam Newton, moving forward, is this a like where is he fantasy wise? Obviously he went out and in 4 plays scored like 14 fantasy points on Sunday. We don't expect that kind of efficiency, obviously, but moving like is he a top 20 right like quarterback, you think?
I I don't know. Give me another week because
Okay.
yeah, I think he's got to be like if what we saw
I don't know how he can't
on
be.
Sunday, yeah, if what we saw on Sunday is any indication, and he becomes the permanent starter, which is the plan,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah.
Or I mean, until
They're
Sam
already
Darnold
planning to
comes
start
back.
him next week.
Like, yeah, there's like if he's gonna, yeah, I think there's just yeah, he has to be. I think that's a short
Yeah.
answer. Yeah.
Okay. I'm on the same boat, and it's a matter of how that offense ends up functioning. Does it get better with Cam Newton versus Sam Darnold? I think it
Mhm.
will. How much better? How effective as a passer is he at this point in his career? That will determine if he's like a top 12 guy because there's a very real possibility that he comes in and is just a top 12 quarterback for the rest of the season because of what he does on the ground. In what 7 more games, he's going to rush for 5 touchdowns probably,
I mean, probably. I
right?
mean, Cam Newton is kind of he's in that spot right now where he could potentially win you your league,
I think he
especially if you're
could.
streaming quarterbacks. The
Mhm,
upside is
mhm.
there. I just
Yeah. Listen, I've
and
got
maybe.
I've got a league. I've
Mhm.
got a league with Kyler Murray. That's been my quarterback all season. Obviously, he's battling some injuries, things like that. And I've been playing Derek Carr in replacement, which is a really fun
Mhm.
backup kind of to play there. Cam Newton is on the waiver wire, and I'm sitting here like, do I drop Derek Carr to pick up Cam Newton to have as my other guy in case Kyler misses another week, in case he gets injured again, or they're kind of slow bringing him back in? There's a bye week coming up still for Kyler. Who would you rather have rest of the season, Derek Carr or Cam Newton?
I think Cam Newton.
Yeah,
I think the upside is so much higher.
yeah.
And then
I
freaking
think so
Robbie
too.
Anderson goes off because he gets the touchdown from it. Like,
Yeah, I know,
I don't
right?
know. It's like for any, I guess, classic movie lovers out there or horror movie lovers, Dracula, the
Mm,
story of Dracula.
yeah,
Wherever he goes, he has to take like the earth with him of Transylvania or his castle. Like that's just how it goes to live. You know, I think that's what Carolina is to Cam. Like now
mhm,
he's there. He's eternal now almost. I don't.
right,
His all his powers are back. Like
right.
it's what a weird season.
It is such a weird season. I don't know, man. I just have this kind of weird feeling like Cam in Carolina might just be what they need and it might unlock some things for this team. And with the way that defense has been playing, especially last week, they might just make things a little bit interesting over there in the NFC. Be interesting to see how he looks next week. But let's keep going. We can't talk about Cam Newton for an hour. Injury updates. I've got quite the list for us. So I'm going to read through. Then we will kind of highlight a few of them that we think are
Okay.
worth talking about. Especially this first one we will come back to. Robert Woods tore his ACL in practice this week, and he is out for the season. Brutal loss for the Rams there. Aaron Jones is going to be out 1 to 2 weeks, it sounds like, with a mild ankle sprain, I believe, or a mild MCL sprain, one of the two. I can't remember. They might be the same. I don't know what an MCL is. Chris Carson returned to practice this week, but he didn't play in the game. Pete Carroll is going to apparently give a statement tomorrow night talking about, where Chris Carson is moving forward. I'm just kind of out on Chris Carson, so not really. Don't really care about that. Saquon practiced Monday for the first time. Looks like he could play this coming week. That's good. Cordell Patterson likely to miss the game Thursday night, but I've saw a few more reports since I wrote this down this morning, and I'm not so sure about that one anymore. But even if he plays, I don't think I really am trusting him at this point. They're playing the
Mm,
Pats, right? Thursday night.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Thursday. Yep.
I'm not like looking forward to like
Mm.
playing an Atlanta Falcon that may or may not be limited due to injury,
Yeah.
against
I'm
Bill
avoiding. I'm
Belichick.
avoiding him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Mike Williams sounds like he's dealing with some knee swelling, and I'm wondering if that's why he hasn't been very good the last 4 weeks or so. Damian Harris still missing practice. Bears left tackle. This one's interesting. Tevin
Hmm.
Jenkins practices for the first time this season after having back surgery back in August, I believe. That one we will come back to because I think this matters. Baker Mayfield day to day. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, good chance to be back this week. Tua to start in week 11 again. Cole Beasley has been playing through a rib injury, and I think it's affecting him on the field. All right, Robert Woods out for the season.
Oof.
We did so. This happened before they played on Sunday night, Monday night,
Happened like
Monday night.
Friday evening or something. I
Yeah,
think
it
we found
happened
out,
Friday. It
right?
was a weird timing with the OBJ news, all of that stuff. But I don't think it matters for Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp. He can't get more targets than what he's been getting. Like he's already got so many. It's
Nope.
not like it's gonna go up. So he's good. He's fine. Don't worry about him. It's the other guys there, Van Jefferson, Odell Beckham Jr., that I think we have to think about, what does this Robert Woods news mean to them? Now, OBJ, we didn't see a lot from him on Monday, but he'd only been on the team for like 2 days, so we don't really expect anything. I wouldn't have been surprised if he wasn't even active. He was. They had him run a few routes. No big deal. Van Jefferson, on the other hand, Tyler and I talked about it on Sunday. We're like, hey, where do we see Van Jefferson at this point? I thought he would have had a good game on Monday, but man, he really, really didn't. It was not good at all. But Matthew Stafford struggled. Do we think that like what we saw on Monday for Van Jefferson is prescriptive of what we will see moving forward? Or do we think that it was just a bad game and we kind of have to toss it out and make a decision without that information?
I think no, Monday. They played Monday. I think
Yeah.
um I think it's just a bad game for the Rams Monday. Last 2
Yeah.
weeks really, which kind of is a shame. Um
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I think Van Jefferson is still, in that number 3 role. I think OBJ
Yeah.
takes over the number 2 role of Robert Woods. Van Jefferson stays in that number 3, but like they've been utilizing him. He's been out there for a very high percentage of the plays. I don't think we see that change. I guess my worry right now is Matthew Stafford. Like, not that
Yeah.
he's bad, but like I just don't know what's happening with that offense. I don't know if this is just one of those slumps that teams or quarterbacks get into, or what's happening. I'm not sure. If we can see them start to play, like how they have been playing, beginning of the year. Like I don't really have a problem slotting Van Jefferson in, like, into that flex spot. Depending on who's out, who's in each week for your team, but he's on the field. That's what's important, because if you're on the field, you have the chance to get the target. And I'm just not high on OBJ, regardless if he's in the number 2 role or not.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I would still honestly probably rather play Van Jefferson. That's just me personally, but I don't know. How do you feel about it?
For now, man, they're on bye this week, so this is interesting. And then they play Green Bay, which feels like it should be a good matchup to play the receiving options there. So I think I'm willing to play Van Jefferson in week 12. Honestly, I'm probably willing to play Odell Beckham Jr. as a flex in week 12 as well, just because he already saw 3 targets in his first game. I think he'll see, I could see 6-7 targets, especially in a game against the Packers. So Van Jefferson moving forward, I'm less optimistic than I was, but I'm still in a fairly similar spot where I think he's a playable asset, a good depth piece to have, and he can have a blow-up game because he could just catch a 60-yard touchdown at any point from Matthew Stafford. So that is always in the realm of possibilities with Van Jefferson. Okay, let's move on to a couple other things. Let's talk the Bears really quick. Tevin Jenkins has not played this year. He was drafted second round by the Bears in this past draft. Second round, right? And not for Just Fields was first, obviously. So Tevin Jenkins.
Yep.
Do you know if he is going to play left tackle or right tackle for the Bears?
I don't right now.
Okay.
It should be left, but I know they were kind of working him out on the right for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want him to come in until he's healthy. That's just me.
Right.
But we need some help on the O-line. I know that.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so I liked him as a prospect. I like him as a player a lot. So I'm pretty excited to see him out there and see what he can do and what he brings to really the passing game. The run game seems to be working pretty well. Like they're running the ball well the last couple weeks here. But if Justin Fields has some extra time in the pocket, I'm interested to see what he is able to do. So I'm pretty excited actually to hear that maybe they're getting some more health there on the line.
Yes, please. Please.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. Let's move on to our main segment for today.
I'm sorry. Don't let my singing interrupt you. I'm in my own world.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm slinging webs in my brain.
Own little zone over there.
I'm sorry. I'm doing research. You see, I'm foregoing these sad injury thoughts, and I'm preparing for the rest of the show, Steven. I'm preparing for the rest of the show.
Except I don't believe you. I would be willing to put money on the fact that you are researching Spider-Man related.
I promise. Go look. Go. I know. Go look at the show notes at the bottom. I'm doing stuff. My intent is to make this a better show. I am foregoing these sad injury updates just because I don't want to participate in this negativity.
Tired of listening to you. I don't know how we're gonna make it through this.
I don't know if my camera is even working. This is all silly.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I don't even know.
It seems like it's having a rough time over there.
I don't know if we're making YouTube this week, boys and girls.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
If we're doing it.
It's not good
I'm
though.
just so hurt that you accused me of looking up other things other than football. I think we need to
Yeah.
hover on that for a second.
Yeah, what a concept. Except you were. So we
I
don't have to
never.
hover on it. All right. Look,
I promise
running
I
back.
wasn't. Come.
Who impressed us
Running
this week?
backs. Ramondre Stevenson. Oh, he impressed us from Tyler's bench, and it was great, guys. 20 carries for 100 yards and 2 tutties. Oh
Yep.
my goodness. Oh, and 14 yards through the air. Gosh.
Yeah, isn't that ridiculous? 4
Man,
catches.
he was on my bench, and
good.
yeah, I mean, that's just how it goes for me. It's fine. That league, I am just done in anyway. Like, I have no chance of coming back. I've got nothing. I got nothing.
Sometimes it happens.
He looked good. Ramondre Stevenson looked amazing. I think Damien Williams might play this week, though. I think Damien Williams, Damien Harris. One of the Damians is going to play, guys.
Damien Harris.
I think it's going to be Damien Harris is going to play for the New England Patriots this week. So I don't know what to do with Ramondre going forward, but I'm happy about last week.
I think he's playable no matter what, right? Like, even if he doesn't get this kind of volume, I think he's at least a flex play. Always possibility for a touchdown. He's probably going to have 10 to 12 touches every week. I think that's good enough to throw him in your flex. This team is functioning at a high level right now, so I kind of just I'm willing to play. It's like a Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, except more balanced and probably a little less talented. But it's the same idea where this is a good offense, a good running game. They're gonna have opportunities in the end zone. Look, they play the Jets. They play the other team that's in their division that's really bad, the Dolphins. Twice a year. I think they're done with the Dolphins, but regardless, they have some cake matchups moving forward and a really good schedule actually from here on out. So
yeah,
I think he's playable, very very playable. I wouldn't expect this kind of upside unless Damien Harris is out, but that's okay. He's still a very 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 startable player.
Yes. We actually had someone else we were impressed with in the running back.
Oh yeah,
in the running back court this week, Mr. AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon. All right. This is what we wanted on the offseason before it was announced that Aaron Jones was coming back. Like, this is kind of what we were expecting.
Yeah, I know.
AJ Dillon is going to be the guy. And we'd have this, performance. He put up, 21 carries, 66 yards, 2 tutties again.
Yep.
For our impressed section, and 2 receptions for 62 yards, running down that sideline, looking good. Well, it's announced, Aaron Jones is going to be out 1 to 2 weeks at least, and if AJ Dillon is probably on your waiver wires, it's probably I would I know a lot of people did handcuff him with Aaron Jones, but go see if he is on your waiver wires, because if he is,
absolutely
pick him up, or see if you can make a trade for him. With the owner. See what you can work out there. Cause you got to buy wins each week. That's where we're at. We're getting close to the playoffs. Got to keep your team alive. Got to keep your team in it. So, do what you can. AJ Dillon, he's a must pick up for the next 2 weeks. So go out and get him.
Yep. Fire him up as a just number top 12 running back every week that Aaron Jones is out. Easy peasy. All right. Sad news. We've got some depressing performances to talk about. Darrell Henderson, running back for the Los Angeles Rams, had 5 carries for 31 yards, 4 receptions, 10 yards. Look, this is not what you're hoping from the running back for the Rams here, right? You're hoping for really good production on a good offense. You're hoping for touchdowns, all of those kind of opportunities, and we just didn't see it this week. And the thing is, we did not see it last week either. Didn't have a very good game last week. Only put up like 8 points or so. All right. Are we worried about Darrell Henderson? Another thing that happens to him is every time he's playing, you'll get a sleeper update that says Darrell Henderson in the blue tent. Darrell Henderson questionable to return. Now, he does come back onto the field. It seems like no matter what. But so it's funny because my opponent had Darrell Henderson on Monday night. And they were down pretty significantly, so it wasn't like a very great chance that they were going to be able to beat me, but there was still a chance. And then when I saw Darrell Henderson went out, I was like, oh, phew, not excited about guys getting injured. I have him elsewhere, so it's kind of double-edged sword there. But I was like, I don't have to worry about losing to like a Darrell Henderson blow-up game. And then I was like out of the room. I came back into the living room. I looked at the TV, and I'm looking at Darrell Henderson running the ball. And I'm like, okay, how long was he out? 4 seconds? Like, what the heck is going on here? Anyway, moving forward, are you worried about him?
I'm just, not yet. One more bad week, and you bet your bottom dollar. But not right now. At this very second, no. If anything, I'm more worried about just that offense because I don't know what's happening in LA.
It's a little strange.
I just don't know. I don't know.
This
was like a Super Bowl favorite like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and like
the interceptions that Matthew Stafford is throwing. Do you know who he looks like out there?
Who?
A certain Philadelphia quarterback that left Philadelphia and ended up in Indianapolis this year.
Hey man, he's not playing. Hey, that's true. Carson Wentz hasn't been playing that bad the last few weeks.
No,
and now Matthew Stafford has been.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I'm just saying. But no, not worried about him yet. Not yet.
Okay. Let's talk.
All right.
Wide receivers. We've got a player that impressed us this week, Jakobi Meyers, wide receiver for the New England Patriots. Let's give this man a round of applause because he finally made it into the end zone. Not for a 2-point conversion. No,
not the 2 point.
Sir.
Nope.
But for an actual touchdown, it was awesome. Finished the week as wide receiver 15 is what I am seeing. 4 targets, 4 receptions, 49 yards, and a touchdown. Look, I wanted to bring up Jakobi Meyers, okay, because he seems to be the primary wide receiver in this offense. Do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Say that again?
Mac Jones is...
I'm sorry.
He seems to be like the number 1 receiver in the offense. Yeah. And Mac Jones is dealing right now, okay?
Yeah, he is.
He is awesome. He's playing really well. Bill Belichick is a monster and does not like tone it down really at any point. And so he just kind of keeps his foot on the gas and keeps scoring points. So now that he has a touchdown, he kind of broke that barrier. I think there's potential for more moving forward. How comfortable are you with Jakobi Meyers? Where do you kind of see him ranking wise?
With the hot streak that Mac is on, Mac Jones, McCorkle, I like it. I do like it. But I don't have confidence playing any New England Patriots, really. Like, I never... Damian Harris is the only one I've slotted in every week and been like, cool, I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
Everyone else has always been like, hope something happens every week.
Hope it's the week for this guy.
Yeah. Oh, hope it's the week for the touchdown for Jakobi Meyers. Like, well, this week it was. That's awesome. I'm not going to feel that way next week again. You know, I'm not... Right. I'm going to be saying the same thing to myself. So it's awesome to see that he, finished in wide receiver 15 with his touchdown. Maybe he got that first one out of the way and he's good. Maybe him and Mac are going to breakfast together now. I don't know. Who knows? But I don't have that confidence week to week right now. And maybe that'll change. But right now, that's where I'm at with it.
Okay. Good to know. It's an interesting one. I think I like him a lot. I'm perfectly happy having him on my roster. I think he's very flexible. Like you could play him as a flex. Not that he is a flexible person.
Yeah.
I don't really know that about him.
He could be. I have no idea.
He might be. He's a professional athlete. I wouldn't be surprised. But
I would hope so.
What I mean is that you can play him as a flex option on your fantasy teams. Well, I know you're not a professional athlete. We know that.
Oh, I meant flexible, but yeah, that too.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
To a depressing wide receiver, Courtland Sutton, Wide receiver, Denver Broncos finishes the wide receiver 65 on the week. 3 targets, 2 receptions for 29 yards. Look, this is his third week in a row under double-digit fantasy points. We were pretty excited about Courtland Sutton coming into the season. We were happy to see him having some success early on. That success seems to have gone away, and maybe coincidentally coincides with a certain other wide receiver for the Denver Broncos coming off IR named Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of out on Courtland
How are you
Sutton.
feeling about Courtland Sutton right now?
I traded
What about
him
for
away.
a dynasty?
Dynasty.
In your
That's
dynasty?
interesting. No, in my keeper league.
Okay.
Ooh, Dynasty's interesting. Okay, so this is his third year with the Broncos. He's gonna be under contract next year. Man, it's tough. So I don't love him in Dynasty, and here's why. I could see them signing him and keeping him as kind of their number 2 receiver there. And we don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like. Right now, it looks bad. Right? Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock.
Aaron Rodgers will be there next year.
Look, if well, okay. Let's not rely on that.
I don't know. I'm not gonna assume that.
There's just so many places where Aaron Rodgers might be next season that I'm kind of worried about using that argument. But like if Aaron Rodgers was there, he'd be awesome next year, right? So it's really tough because it's so quarterback dependent. And the reason it's quarterback dependent is because I don't think he's the number 1 target there anymore. I think Jerry Jeudy stepped into that role and kind of took it over. So
would you buy low on him right now in a dynasty? Because I think you could.
I don't think so.
No, you're just out. I think you're just out on him, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like. Maybe after next year, when you have some more information, you know.
Yeah,
I think he's a really talented wide receiver. I think he's good. That's not the problem. The problem is I don't think, as of now, they do not have a quarterback that can support 2 high-end wide receiver options and a fantasy tight end who's relevant. That's kind of the issue there.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm out. What about you? Do you think there's hope for the future?
I do.
And I'm not saying
I think there's hope
no
for the future.
But...
I definitely think Jerry Jeudy will get injured again. Yeah, for sure.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry. I don't want to put that out there.
You should say that with less conviction, because if it happens, we might you might have some police knocking on your door.
Oh god, yeah, that's true. Oh man, I almost made a joke. That wasn't going to be appropriate, so I'm just not going to tell a joke. Never mind. Too soon.
Not.
Alrighty. Let's just move on. Let's
do it.
Let's just move on. All right. Best time of the show, tight end time. Ooh, tight end time. That might be the segment.
Tight end time. I like it.
A sub-segment of Impressed Depressed is tight end time. It's where we just talk about the tight end position. But who impressed you this week?
Look, tight end that impressed me this week, Hunter Henry. I won't lie. I've been like you with the Pats up until this week, where I'm just kind of like, they're happening over there, right? Like they can score their fantasy points. They can do their thing. I'm not going to pay attention to it because I just don't believe in the team as a whole. I've changed my mind. I believe in Mac Jones. I believe in Josh Daniels. I believe in Josh McDaniels, and I believe in Bill Belichick. So Hunter Henry finishes a tight end 2 on the week, 4 targets, 4 receptions, 27 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We have not talked about the Patriots tight ends in quite some time, right? I can't remember bringing them up. Maybe even since the season started, because they've been so irrelevant.
Well, we talked about ignoring them completely.
Yeah.
That's probably the last time we talked about them.
Exactly. They've been crazy irrelevant, except they haven't. Hunter Henry is currently the tight end 4 on the season. Are you aware of this?
I am not aware of this. Is this interesting stat of the week? Because I am interested.
This should be, right? Tight end 4. Not a ton of targets. He's getting that like 4, maybe 5 targets a week. But he's got 7 touchdowns on the year.
Wow.
Already. They are hyper targeting him in the end zone or in the red zone. He's getting those targets. Mac Jones, like we said, playing super well. So much better than we expected. And Jonnu Smith is not the player that I was expecting him to be for this team. So with all of this information, you said you don't trust any Patriots. I'm saying I think there's one you should
Man,
trust.
I think you might be right. I think this is the Adam Thielen effect is what we call this, where you just score a bunch
Yeah,
of
makes sense.
touchdowns and you like rank really high for your position.
Yeah,
And it's
it
working.
tends to work.
It is working. I think it helps that Mac Jones is, he's a rookie. So
Yeah.
I think he's leaning on that tight end position, especially in the red zone right there for
Yeah.
him. And Hunter Henry is the guy. And
Mhm.
it's working. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I think you should be able to confidently start Hunter Henry week in, week out right now. Yeah, numbers don't lie.
Yeah, it's tough to it's a weird situation because you look at his targets in like the last we'll do 5 weeks. 4 targets, 3 targets, 3 targets, 4 targets, 2 targets.
Wow.
But he only he had his lowest in those 5 weeks was 4.3 points. And then every other week he scored a touchdown
Wow.
in that subsection. So it's like he's not getting a lot of targets like we said, but the targets he's getting are in the red zone and he's making it happen. So we might have a Robert Tonyan on our hands. He's
Wow.
on your waiver wires almost for sure. If you've got a roster spot or if you've got somebody like Dalton Schultz, listen, if Dalton Schultz is your tight end, who we might be talking about here in the next segment, we are. Go get Hunter Henry because I think he might end up being a more reliable option moving forward than somebody like a Dalton Schultz. So Hunter Henry, go look on your waiver wire to see if he's there. I think he probably is. Let's talk depressed. We've got 2 guys for you. First, let's talk Dawson Knox. This one I wanted to bring in because we kind of talked about him, going into this week, and you wanted to play him in one of your leagues. I don't remember why it was, but you had started him and you were feeling good about it, and it just didn't happen. 1 target, 1 reception, 17 yards. Finishes the tight end 35 on the week.
Whoop whoop.
Listen, he kind of let you down personally, but if you put that aside,
That's
what are you
typically
feeling
what
about
fantasy
Dawson
players
Knox?
do for me. Um, um, I'm gonna try to say this without giving away our next segment.
Okay.
Or later in the show. I'm okay with Dawson Knox. He's coming off of injury. Who did the Bills play? Who did they play
The
this past week?
Bills played one of those bad teams. I think it was the
Who
Jets.
was it? The Jets.
I think
Bills
so.
week 10. Google is great, guys. Google is fantastic because I don't
Yep,
remember
they
4
played the
days ago.
Jets.
Clearly, they played Jets 45-17. There was no game script for them to come back here, or really need to throw
Right.
the ball here. I didn't watch that game, unfortunately, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. So I'm okay. There's no reason they didn't need him, right? Just right to
Right.
it. They didn't
Not
need
at
him.
all.
There was no reason. He's coming off an injury. There was no reason for him to just show out. So
Yeah.
it doesn't worry me too much. Just going
Okay.
forward.
I think that's reasonable.
I mean, 84% of
Eh,
snaps. I think that speaks for itself. Like
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're on the right track there. Like, look, that was his first game back from injury. They obviously probably could have played with 10 guys on the field and still won this game. So it's not like they needed him to go do a whole bunch of stuff. They had him out there running routes, maybe doing some blocking, but trying to keep him healthy.
Blocking a little,
Dalton
yeah.
Schultz is the other tight end that we're going to bring up in our depressed segment. Tight end 40 on the week, had a very similar week. 2 targets, 1 reception for 14 yards. I wanted to call this one out because it's the first game that the Cowboys have had with Michael Gallup back. Cowboys had a really good game. They scored a ton of points, but Dalton Schultz didn't see any fruit of that. Look, I don't feel good about him moving forward. I'm not going to lie. I think Michael Gallup is a really good receiver, and I just don't know how they can possibly support Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Dalton Schultz. I just don't think it's possible. I don't think there is enough volume to go around with how well that defense is playing. They're just not going to be passing the ball 40 times a week. That's not going to happen. So Dalton Schultz, I'm out on. Are you similar? You have more hope, waiting to see?
I'm out on Schultz.
Yeah.
I think I'm just I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm out. I'm trying to come up with an argument to like maybe this is why, but I don't have one. I don't have
Yeah. Remember there's Cedric Wilson there too, who has been really good for them this
he's
year.
really good.
Zeke is going to get targets. Pollard's going to get targets. There's just not enough to go around to get Schultz involved. He'll get some touchdowns every once in a while, but I just don't think that he will have enough to be relevant anymore.
That's fair. Okay. Why do we always end on a sad note?
Maybe we should flip. Maybe with tight ends, we can start doing deep.
Maybe we just don't talk about sad tight ends. Maybe we just.
I guess
maybe we
here's
just
the thing.
talk
with tight
about.
Ends, there's like 4 of them that are good, and the rest of them are depressing. So it's really easy to choose the depressed ones because you got 47 options.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe we just talk like. Let me just talk for an hour about the tight ends. Maybe that's just what we do, and we'll just talk about the good ones. It'll be fun. Be like 15 minutes each for the good ones.
There we go. That's not a bad idea.
Call it a day. Alrighty. So I'm gonna let you transition this. I feel like your transition is gonna be better. I can just feel it in my bones. I'm gonna feel it.
That's awkward. All right, look.
I'm here. I'm doing what the Raiders unsuccessfully did, where they tried to lateral the ball the other day. Whatever that was. But I'm doing this. It's gonna end better. Like, no one's talking about that play for a minute. Wait a minute.
Here's hoping, because it didn't start off very well here. It feels a little clunky. Feels a little unnatural. Not gonna lie, and I'm gonna see if I can save it. So don't interrupt me. I saw your little finger wagging over there. Listen, last week we were talking, and we kind of had this idea. I think one of us asked the question, "Hey, where do we think?" It might have been Jonathan Taylor. Where do we think Jonathan Taylor is going to be drafted next year in your fantasy drafts? And that got us thinking, hey, I think it'd be fun to do a mock draft for the 2022 fantasy football season. We're assumptions, full PPR, 12-team mock draft. We're just going to go pick by pick and alternate here. Idea is to kind of rank who we think the kind of top 24 most wanted players are going to be. It's just for fun. There's not a ton of implication for this season moving forward. So I don't know. Let's dive in. Let's do this thing. And unbelievably, ridiculously, way too early, 2022 fantasy football mock draft. Do you have the spreadsheet open?
I have what you gave me open. That's not the spreadsheet though. It's a picture of it. Is that what we're talking about?
No, there should be a spreadsheet in the folder where the show notes are at.
You know, guys, I just want to pause. I just want to say, maybe this doesn't look professional, but this is just how we operate here with us two. Literally, and it's honestly, it's gotten us this far. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and by this far, he means podcasting in my basement.
No, I meant we've survived this long together. So
we haven't survived that long. We're not even 30. There's still a lot that can go
27
wrong.
years is a good amount of time. You know, like
like if it went down tomorrow, somebody could still say they lived good lives.
You know, and like, here's the thing. This is really Steven's fault for not giving me a link to this spreadsheet he talks about. That's really where the problem lies.
I mentioned it at some point when we were talking, and I thought you'd go find it, and obviously I was wrong.
I got it. I'm pulling it up right now, right? Give me... Okay. Come on. Go ahead and lead everyone into the fine folks into this segment while I pull this stupid spreadsheet up that you keep talking about.
Well, I already introed the segment. So, with the first pick of the 2022 fantasy football draft...
Why do you get first pick?
Who are you taking?
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, you feel dumb now. Oh, you're taking JT?
I just understood what you meant by that. He's asking me if I felt dumb because I am the first pick, and I just pulled up the spreadsheet and saw that.
Yeah. I gave you the first pick.
Okay. Jonathan Taylor.
I'm taking
is my
JT.
first pick. Taking JT.
I
think
I will never forgive you for that.
Why were you going to take him?
Yeah.
Well, then you should have had you yourself as the first pick.
I was hoping he'd make it to me so that I could take him. Because now I have to make a hard choice, and I don't want to make a difficult decision right now.
Well,
all right.
To suck.
Jonathan Taylor, first pick. He has been unbelievable this year. He is now the bell cow there in Indianapolis. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is electric. So stinking good. Love watching that guy run. I think I'm in the same boat. I think I would just take him first. Feel safe, feel comfortable. There's no injury issues.
He's not coming back to you.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah.
I think that's who I would go with the first pick as well. So now I'm in the second pick, and I have to decide between Derrick Henry, the King, or Christian McCaffrey. I don't know where to go with this pick. Look,
let me help you out.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned it with I don't know what's going on tonight. We talked about it earlier how you get that notification that says Darrell Henderson. Darrell Henderson may not come back in the game. I feel like every time CMC is in the game, I get that same notification.
Right.
All right.
That's kind of where
next year
I'm at right now.
And he's only getting older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I don't know.
I think
don't let me sway you.
And even if Christian McCaffrey had been healthy all season, and Derrick Henry was healthy up until when he was, got injured, I still think Derrick Henry might have been having a better year than what Christian McCaffrey would have been doing, right? Like, yeah, I'm going Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I trust the offense more. I know the quarterback situation there. We don't know what it's going to look like in Carolina next year. They could be tearing it down again. It's very possible that they're kind of in a rebuild, or they could have Deshaun Watson and we look dumb. So
yeah,
that'd be a problem. But I'm going to Derrick Henry. It feels safer there. Where are you going with pick number 3?
Okay, so pick number 3. I am doing this solely based on the assumption that he does not get injured the rest of the year.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go CMC.
Totally fair. Look, he's been the games he's played, he's been really good. And we know he's great. We know he's a fantastic fantasy football asset for what he can do on the field. So I have no problems with that pick for sure. Now, number 4. This is where things get difficult, I think. Okay. It's really hard to kind of make decisions here, right? So oh man. See, it's good. It's testing kind of my draft philosophy, and I think that's helpful. Do I want to go running back? Do I want to go wide receiver here?
I think you got to stick running back.
I think so too.
I think you got it.
But it's which running back is kind of the question. But I think there's a answer here. I'm going Najee Harris.
Oh, Najee Harris. So, okay, I like that. I think he'll be in his second year at this point.
Yep. Hopefully the offensive line gets better. I think any quarterback change will be an improvement.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they get one of the veterans that want out, like a Russ or a Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I honest to God, I would rather have Aaron Rodgers stay in Green Bay than go to Pittsburgh.
You think so?
I absolutely hate Pittsburgh with a passion. Like I hate Green Bay more. Like obviously I have to, but like
right.
They're also like this weird brother. Like you know what I mean? Like you kind of like you need them. Like yeah. I'm fine if Pittsburgh just got up and moved out of the city. That's where I'm at with that team. And it has nothing to do with the Bears game last week. Like I've just always felt this way about the Steelers, and I don't know why. It's so irrational. It's so irrational.
Funny. It's true though. You've always been anti-Steelers for some reason.
And you
I
know
don't really
what?
understand.
You and I had the worst luck in Pittsburgh that one time that we went.
That was a sketchy
That's
time.
we
Story
almost
for
died.
another
It's
day.
fine. It's fine. Number 5 pick. I'm gonna go Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
I just think he's too valuable. He's still young. And at the number, if he's dropping down to number 5, I think it's a no brainer. You have to take him.
Yeah, it hasn't been the best year for him, but he's still the bell cow back there, and he's still going to get a ton of work, and he's obviously a really good player, so I don't hate that pick at all. It seems like good value. Pick 6, I am going with DeAndre Swift. You know what? I'm going to take another victory lap real quick right here. Remember me? I'm the guy that said draft DeAndre Swift everywhere you go, no matter what. And
you
look,
did.
I was absolutely correct. He had so many touches this past week. It was insane. He ran the ball like 30 times, I think, or pretty darn close to it. And then obviously he still got some targets and stuff. It was insane. And he ran the ball pretty well, too, all things considered. So DeAndre Swift, I love the opportunities that guy gets in the passing game, especially. That's where I am going with the 6th pick in this draft.
I like it. And for the 3rd pick in a row, we will stay in the NFC North. And I'm going to go Aaron Jones. Pick 7. I think that's kind of far for him to fall back, but I mean, obviously the guys ahead of him are great options. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be there. I think Aaron Jones is going to kind of be that guy that they lean on. Maybe almost in that Dalvin Cook role where it's like he's the guy, that Alvin Kamara role. Yeah. He's the guy that we need on this offense. And obviously maybe Devonta Adams will be there, but like without knowing the quarterback situation, I think they're going to really lean heavily on Aaron Jones. I think at the number 7 spot, it would be a great place to take him there.
No, that's a really good thought process. I hadn't thought about it like that, because if Aaron Rodgers isn't there, they will not be able to move the ball in the air like they have for the past, 20 years or whatever, however long he's been there. So do they turn to the running game a little bit more? That's an interesting thought. I am less enthusiastic about him. I'm kind of worried that what AJ Dillon is about to do over these next few weeks. Like if he balls out, do they move off of Aaron Jones somehow? Do they, try to trade him? Do they try to somehow get out from under that contract? Or do they just roll with the Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb situation, which would be difficult, I think, for him to return like 1st round draft pick value in. So not really sure what to think about Aaron Jones, but I think that's a fine pick. Look, pick number 8. I think I just have to trust this here, and I'm going with Ezekiel Elliott. He's still going to be the running back there in Dallas next year. I still believe Dallas is going to be a good team. He's been good this year, so let's not forget that. I think he only fell this far because it's another year of age, right? But look, I think he still has at least one more season in him after this.
Yep, I think I love that. That was actually gonna be my pick there if I was there at number 8. So completely agree. My pick here at number 9, and I mean I think I'm banging on value here right now, but number 9, Alvin Kamara. I know it hasn't been the best season overall for him. I'm gonna trust that quarterback situation will be a little more figured out, by next season and stuff. By the time that rolls around, and if they can get a receiving weapon in there. Like, I don't think it'll be Michael Thomas, but someone in there. I think
someone in the draft.
I think that works even better for Kamara. So draft Devonta Adams, anyone like that. I'm just saying. Speaking into the universe, maybe it'll happen.
Totally reasonable. Look, 10th pick here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with my guy, Austin Eckler here. He's been really good this season. It's terrifying, because he's an older guy. He's had injury issues in the past. He's played every game this year so far. But I'm not willing to pass up another, seemingly elite running back option at this point.
That's totally fair. So I picked number 11, and it is getting a little tricky because I think I'm going to start going off of running backs here. There's a lot of good ones though. That's the thing. A lot of good ones. Wide receivers, though, are hard to choose from because, like, we don't know if Aaron Rodgers will be there for Davante Adams. Like, we don't know if Cooper
Right,
Kupp
yeah.
is just like a 1 year thing. Like, obviously,
Mhm.
this is middle of the season of this year. And we're talking about next season
Yeah.
already. We're just doing this for fun. This is kind of where it's kind of an insight on our rankings as well for the current season, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a shot at a receiver here, and I'm going to do it because I
Okay.
think going
Can I
into
guess
next
who it's gonna
year.
be?
Sure, go ahead.
I wanna guess who you think the best wide receiver is gonna be next year. My
Okay.
guess, I'm reading your brain right now. Reading, downloading. Ja'Marr Chase.
I hate you so much. It was Ja'Marr Chase is my pick number 11.
Oh, man.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
He's so
This
good.
it's not working. Oh god, I'll just type in his name. Yeah, Ja'Marr Chase. I think he's just gonna keep going this year.
Yeah.
Being good, and yeah, by the time next season rolls around, next draft season, I think he's gonna be in that Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. How high do I draft him? He's not gonna be there when he rolls around type conversation. So Ja'Marr Chase is where I'm going at
Mhm.
number 11.
Yeah. I think that's a little rich for my taste, but I kinda see where you're going there, and honestly, I wouldn't be that surprised if this is roughly in the draft where we're talking about Ja'Marr Chase next year because of what he's
Mm-hmm.
done already, and if people are expecting like a year 2 jump for him, which I think is reasonable to expect because we see that in wide receivers all the
Yeah.
time, then this is the only place he can jump to at this point is the number 1 spot, right? Like he's already
Mm-hmm.
wide
Yeah.
receiver 5 or 6 on the year. So if he gets any better, it just means he's the top guy. I like that pick there. It's spicy. I appreciate it. I think
Mm.
what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go with Nick Chubb.
Okay.
I think it's a comfortable pick here and in the 12th spot. I'm not sure what Kareem Hunt's contract looks like. Do you know if he's gonna be in Cleveland like for sure next year at this point?
I imagine he would be. I'm not familiar with his
Yeah,
contract.
I don't know either. It's not a huge deal. I think either way. Um, even if Kareem Hunt isn't there, I wouldn't be surprised if Dearness Johnson kind of comes in and fills some of Kareem Hunt's role because they seem pretty committed to not keeping Nick Chubb as a passing downs back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think if Kareem Hunt is gone, I don't necessarily think Nick Chubb's role is going to go up very much. But he's been so solid, so consistent, so steady. When he's out there, he is a reliable fantasy option. Problem is, he's already missed a couple games this year. So that kind of keeps me a little less enthusiastic about him. But I'm going Chubb there with pick 12. Now we're in second round. First round are the first pick of the second round. I am also
Yes.
going to head over to the wide receiver position here because I think I have
Okay.
exhausted my kind of elite running back options the way that I see it. So, who do I think is going to be the best wide receiver in football next year? This is tough. It's a really tough decision. It very well could be Ja'Marr
It
Chase.
is.
It is. You think so? But I'm going to go off of what we have seen this year. I'm going with Cooper Kupp. Look, I don't think they're going to like add a whole bunch of receiving options to that team.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine he still gets a ton of volume and he has another really solid season ahead of him. So going Cooper Kupp, first pick, second
Okay.
round, feels like great value. If he does,
Okay.
I mean, even a portion of what he's doing now,
Portion.
you know what I mean? He'll
1/4
be
portion.
crazy
Yeah.
value.
I love that. I love that there. So I'm back here with my second pick my second pick. So we have Ja'Marr Chase on this team. Not going to go receiver as much as tempting as it is. We need a solid running back. Joe Mixon's probably my next running back on the board, but since I have Ja'Marr Chase, I don't like doing that personally. Like same team right off the bat, back to back.
Sure.
So I'm gonna grant. I just need to preface this: we're in the middle of the season for anybody watching this video, like at the end of the year. Just
Right.
need to let you know that we are in November.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? You just did something.
Oh,
You took
I
it away
didn't.
from
I
me.
moved him. I didn't think you were going to take him right here, but yeah, I think this is
Yes,
the right choice.
I am taking him. I'm taking Javonte Williams here from the Denver Broncos. I'm going to keep my team young, And I'm gonna go I'm basing this off of Melvin Gordon is gonna be gone. I don't know what the QB situation is gonna look like. Javonte Williams has looked amazing in his split role there in Denver thus far, and I can only imagine he takes that step up, being the main guy there next year, and possibly like really the only guy. So I'm keeping my team young.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping for that second year jump from my first two picks, and I have Jamar Chase and Javonte Williams, and I love it. And clearly you read my mind too again at some point because it's like you knew.
Yeah, I know. I think that's a great pick. I think Javonte is going to be awesome next year.
I love it. All right, who you got the next pick?
Yeah, so this is tough. I think I'm going wide receiver again, and my next wide receiver off the board. Look, I'm gonna go Tyreek Hill. Not gonna get too cute with this one. He's still been really good this year. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, still a thing next season. I think he's got at least one, if not more, years in him after that.
I like that pick, especially there here in the second round. I got Alvin Kamara with as my pick currently on team number 9 here, and my next pick is going to be Davante Adams. Second round, fourth pick. I think we have to go Davante Adams. I know the QB situation is up in the air as of this recording, but I like that value right there. He's the wide receiver 1 this year in all the leagues, or a majority of the leagues. So I think here's just a steal.
Yep, totally makes sense. Team 8 here has Ezekiel Elliott in the first round. Going wide receiver again here in the second because the value is too good. I think I would prefer CeeDee Lamb, but again, double Dallas. Don't love that. So I'm going to go with my next wide receiver. I'm going Justin Jefferson from the Minnesota Vikings.
Justin Jefferson. Okay. I like it. So what you got? Zeke, you got Jefferson. I like that team. That's so good. Team number 7, we got Aaron Jones. I'm going to stack him with the wide receiver as well. Scary Terry, baby. Aaron, I like, yeah. We love some Scary Terry here at the First Read Fantasy Football Podcast. Almost as much as you love DeAndre Swift. Who
I know, right? Speaking of DeAndre Swift, that's who Team 6 has from the first round. DeAndre Swift is getting paired with CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. I think Amari Cooper might be gone next year, in which case this is probably too low for CeeDee Lamb, to be honest. But we don't know that's the case yet. So
we'll see. We'll see how the year shakes out. Next pick, we've got Dalvin Cook, and we're going to pair him with the DK Metcalf.
Interesting.
Wide receiver.
Okay.
It is interesting.
Let's dive into that one.
Let's do that. Let's do it.
Explain it to me, because I'm skeptical.
You are skeptical, which was me actually going into this season. I don't have DK literally anywhere, because of that skepticism. Look, I don't. Did they restructure Wilson's contract? I don't remember. Is he there on do you remember?
I don't remember, but I don't think
I'm going to assume he's going to. You don't think so? You don't think he'll be there?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, I'm going to be under the assumption that he will be there. Maybe I'm wrong, which is fine.
Okay. Well, then that makes more sense.
Yeah, if he wasn't going to be there, DK would not be here. That's what I thought for sure. That's my assumption.
Okay.
Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers came to see? Okay, we're done talking about Aaron Rodgers. Let's move on to the next draft pick.
Yeah. So this one's tough. Najee Harris is who this team has from the first round. This is where picks I think are starting to get more difficult because I think we're hitting some